Hello， 大家好，我係 Professor Lisa Leung， 我係嶺南大學文化研究系嘅一個老師。我哋文化研究其實咧都係一啲即係藉住從日常生活啦所接觸嘅東西，包括係媒體啦、普及文化啦，甚至係一啲嘅生活性嘅一啲嘅課題咧，去思考一啲更加大嘅啲議題，包括文化啦、社會啦、政治啦，甚至經濟嗰啲課題嘅。而我哋嘅課程嘅特色咧，就係不斷係去邀請一啲唔同嘅一啲業界嘅人士啦嚇，甚至係一啲嘅即係知名啲嘅人士咧，去進入我哋嘅課堂裏邊咧，係作出佢哋嘅分享。而我哋咧即將會係推出一系列嘅一啲嘅短片咧，係記錄一啲呢啲嘅所謂客席嘅分享咧，係希望可以令大家更加明白我哋嗰個課程嘅宗旨啦，以及係我哋一啲嘅課堂嘅內容，使到咧大家係即使未係去參與我哋嘅課堂咧，都可以更加了解我哋嗰個關注同埋我哋一啲嘅興趣嘅嚇。咁或者你哋都可以係去 follow 我哋嗰個社交媒體嘅網站啦嚇，係更加了解我哋呢個即係學士嘅課程嚇，同埋我哋一啲嘅即係科目嘅嚇。咁請大家去 enjoy。呢一科咧就係叫做 Media and Creative Industries， 喺中文咧就係媒體與文化創意產業。咁我諗顧名思義咧，就係想探討就係喺今日呢一個所謂數碼化嘅媒體世代，究竟創意工業點樣喺媒體裏邊去展演呢？嚇，特別就係為係今日年青嘅一代咧，其實係點樣可以更加成功地可以掌握到平台化或者社交媒體化嘅年代可以創作嘅或者創造嘅一啲文化嘅創意空間。我諗特別係為年青嘅一代咧係更加有用嘅。
How, what are the reasons why the Korean culture industries have grown so much, and then how it has become so much popular in the global market? There have been a lot of theories and then studies presented in the past few years. One of them suggested cultural proximity, concept, especially at the beginning, because Hallyu was successful in East Asian countries first in the early 21st century, like 20 years ago. Just yesterday, when I was preparing the lecture, US television, NBC News published this article, how Korean shows are adopted to become Netflix hits. But not only the NBC, but BBC also reported a lot of pieces on K-pop. Rolling Stone magazine made a big feature stories last year, and it's all because of the BTS or Parasite or Squid Game. But it really started with this, a very old Korean television drama, Winter Sonata. For Professor Lisa Leung, this is probably not that old drama. But for you, this drama is almost the age of yours.
I grew up with it.
2001, first aired in Korea. And then the next year, a Japanese satellite channel purchased the drama simply because the drama was cheap. And they wanted to fill in their airtime with this cheap Korean drama. But it created a totally unexpected and then unprecedented hit in Japan. And then in the next few months, the drama was showed again and again and again, 3 times in Japan. And when Winter Sonata made a big presence, it was not alone. The next year, another drama, Da Jiang-jin, made a big presence again, especially in China and Hong Kong and Taiwan. I still remember that I visited Hong Kong in 2006 or 7, around that time. And then, everybody's talking about this Korean drama at that time. So I was very surprised at that time. And these two are not just a very, very small examples, few examples. There are 100 other Korean dramas traveled around this East Asian region. So in the first years, many people paying attention on the notion of cultural proximity, why these dramas were so well received in East Asian countries. Then people easily thought that, hey, these countries are sharing the cultural background together. These are all Chinese, Confucius cultures. So they accept, they understand the Korean dramas much deeper and easier than other countries. But then in just a matter of a couple of years of time, these dramas began traveling to beyond East Asia, to the Philippines, to Malaysia, to Indonesia, to Middle East, to South America, and eventually to Europe. So the cultural proximity hypothesis soon lost its explanatory power. Hey, it has nothing to do with the Confucius culture. The dramas penetrate into totally different cultural settings. So people began talking about the hybridity and then the notion of hybridization. Well, this is not about cultural proximity, but maybe Korean producers are keen on hybridizing the Western mode of entertainment with some unique Korean cultural thing, which might be looking, just interesting. So hybridization became a catchword at that time, replacing the cultural proximity. Now, still, many people are talking about the hybridization of global culture, global media culture. And some people are talking about the state cultural policies in Korea, Korean nation, Korean state planned and then implemented a wonderful, project and support, which brought a big success in cultural industries. Yet some people are paying attention on the uniqueness of Korean fandom, not only Korean fandom, but the global fandom around Korean pop, like BTS fandom, like ARMY, and also there's been a talk about the social media and the internet, and Korea is very advanced in the information technologies, so that helped the development of Korean, things. I would say these kind of approaches bear some utility, but they are not, giving us a complete picture, and they are flawed, and they are probably not really correct all the time. Even if they have some limited explanatory power, there is some state policies, there's some hybridization, there's some cultural proximity, but all these things, fandom, are not uniquely Korean or Korean culture. This exists everywhere. If you are looking at the American culture, or British culture, it's all there, Every modern culture is hybridized and culturally proximity. Every state pays the development, attention on the development of their culture and creative industries. Fandom is, everywhere, And recently, me and my friend published a paper about the digital transformation in media co-evolution as a distinctive element for and then the most reliable explanation for the development of K-pop. And eventually, I believe the accumulation of cultural capital in the Korean society offers the most holistic approach in explaining the success of Korean media culture.